Hello, ladies and germs. I'm kidding. Isn't that what? I
She'll be
thought
here
I,
all night, folks.
I thought it would make you laugh. Hello and welcome to a live pop culture on D program with Keri Smith. I'm your host Keri, and I'm joined by my regular host, Mystery Chris, the anonymous masked man. Anonymous. That's you.
Well, howdy, Carrie. How are you?
I am 90% well, I think. So,
Okay, I like that.
yes.
So that's good. It's good. Good number.
I missed you last week. And for everybody who is a regular of our channel, I apologize. We had to skip pop culture last Wednesday because I was sick. But we're back tonight. We're gonna show some really awful, horrible, racist cartoons. This is Mystery Chris's idea, just so you know. Uh, why don't you tell people a little bit about why you want to do this?
Because racism's funny.
It is.
Uh, yeah, so I've always been fascinated by kind of the racist cartoons from like 1940s and a lot of the iconography and the figurines and stuff because it's always been funny but in a sad way just to think about like how backwards people were regarding this because we're backwards in other ways today, but regarding this it's pretty wild stuff they did back then. And so I want to do an episode where we show a little bit of some of these cartoons, talk about it, and kind of contrast that with what's considered to be racist
Racist
cartoons today.
today. Yes, I think. First of all, I think you're right. I think racism is funny. It's also evil and sad and atrocious. But when I say it's funny, I mean we should mock it and laugh at it. I think you should mock evil, um, because I think it takes some of the power away from it, and also I think I think this is gonna be interesting because, like you said, just to put it in context with everything they call racist today, to take a look at some actual racism that was tolerated and pushed in society, stuff that you can't even imagine if you grew up. I mean, we're not that young, you and I. I'll speak for myself. I'm not that young, and but I can't imagine stuff like this being on the air. So it also makes me think about how the studios have always been likely to go along with whatever bad ideology is in vogue at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like the
Yes.
like the same way they're all woke now. Well, hey, back when this other kind of racism was popular, that's what they were pushing too. It's like whatever they think the is popular in fashion or the elites are into, it's like, okay, we're going to push that. I don't know. It's just something that occurred to me.
Yeah. In fact, I have a sign in my. You've seen it in my kitchen of like an old billboard from the 1940s of a black man with syrup. It says, "This sure am good." It was funny.
No.
And my friend gave me that. And by the way, my friend's mom listens to the show. So your daughter did this, ma'am. You know who you are. Your daughter gave it to me.
It's her fault. It's your fault if you're listening. I
But yeah,
should, before we get going and we're gonna pull up some racism, I should take a moment to thank everybody who supports the show financially. We do have a Subscribe Star, a Locals, and a Patreon. And if you can't afford to do that financially, you can also just share the video or hit like. That helps us, the algorithm, if you like it. And we do have, as of today, I did some housekeeping with Pirate Tomsky and Cheeky Mare, and we have YouTube memberships. Some people were asking for these, so they're here now. I thought they were turned on, but they weren't. Now they're turned on. There's
eh,
YouTube memberships if you want to get like fancy emojis or whatever the kids are doing on the tubes. And we we also have an email address. Cheeky Mare has set up an email address. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it on the screen. You guys, if you have suggestions for clips, whether that's on pop culture or the deprogrammed interviews or anything. If there's something you see that you're like, that would make a great clip and you want to help us, you can email it to Cheeky at the email address is Keri, Keri, clips at use dot startmail.com. And it's there on the screen. And I'm sure we'll pin that somewhere so people can find it. That's just if you're that kind of person and that's in your wheelhouse and you love doing that. Okay, that's it. Somebody says, I wonder if Keri will get a Rumble account. We have a Rumble. It's supposed to be updating automatically. I hope it is. I need to go there and see. Sorry. I need to go see. But there's supposed to be a deprogrammed Rumble for
And Odyssey.
and Odyssey for the inevitable day that we get booted from YouTube, like
Let's have a
everyone
backup
does.
for your backup.
Backup for the backup. Okay. Without further ado, take it away, sir.
Oh, well, we could begin watching cartoons. I didn't have any order, so you just want to start showing a little bit of something. We can do that.
Okay. You guys, I just want to warn you again. With our modern day sensibilities, this is going to be really shocking. I've never seen these. I watched the very beginning of one and I figured I'd just wait and watch it with the audience so you can see me reacting in live time, real time. What do they call it? Okay, here we go.
Action video.
Yeah. Did you know about these before
Some
you?
of them, some of them I didn't. Some of them I looked up. There's the Censored 11 from Warner Brothers. There's like 11 cartoons that they deemed to be too controversial, so they've never released them on DVD. And I found an article, and maybe we can read the article a little bit of it or not, but one by John McWhorter, who is defending. It's an old article, but he was defending its inclusion, and also have a video by Whoopi Goldberg defending some racist cartoons. We'll show later.
Which is very, very interesting. Okay, cool. We're gonna watch this one. It's called Jungle Jitters, and this is an actual cartoon from.
You know by the title, it's already racist.
You can already tell because of the alliteration. I'm kidding. Because of the name, and this is from Warner Brothers. Okay. Is this the sort of thing I should pause so we don't get in trouble?
I have no idea. It's like, do they really want to like claim that they want to own this?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. No.
Okay, we'll skip a little bit. Here we go. Are you laughing? Okay, just something. Are you laughing?
It's so over the top.
It's so over the top. I mean, you look at this and then you look at stuff that they call racist today, and you're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yes. But notice like how long his intro is.
Yeah.
No dialogue, just yapping.
Ziona says, "Nervous drinking." Chrissy Mare's boobs is here, you guys, and they have something to say. Sonora Baptiste feels like he's seen this before. I don't know if you have because they eventually banned it. What were you going to say?
I said in Chicago. That was a joke. I can make a racist joke.
You do have that card. Okay, it says, so this is a 1938 Warner Brothers cartoon. And because, this is what Wikipedia says, because of the racial stereotypes of Black people throughout the short, it prompted United Artists to withhold it from syndication within the United States in 1968. Hey, but it had a good 30-year run.
Yeah, how many kids have seen it in that time frame? Not just that 30 years. Mm.
So then in 1968, after finding no problem with it for 30 years, they put this racist cartoon into the what you called the censored 11, which is a group of 11 Merry Melodies and Looney Tune shorts withheld from official distribution in the US. Okay. Should we watch just a little bit more?
A bit more, just a little.
God.
Slow it down a little bit. You can go make it like 25%.
No. Thank God you didn't get Gino Visconti on for this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, for goodness sakes!
The lips. Did your parents, do they ever remember watching stuff like this?
Never talked about it if they did. They showed me. I remember watching parts of Song in the South, which
I
maybe we'll have to watch that. Problematic
yeah.
movie, something. But yeah, I don't. And I'm gonna put Dumbo in this category simply for the Jim Crows. I did not get that as a kid. It's one only when I became adult that I look back and I was like, wait a minute. You
Yeah.
got a bunch of black sounding crows voiced by white dudes that were called Jim
Yeah.
Crow. That's like, uh,
You know, it's interesting because we talk a lot about how they use cartoons and stuff to try to indoctrinate kids today with all this gender ideology stuff. And again, it just goes to show like there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, they're showing this stuff to children. Like, who in their right mind is like, well, you know what? Let's make a cartoon, a racist cartoon about black people and give it to children. Like, you know, it's just a different time. And I know that we as humans tend to view ourselves as superior to previous generations. Like, oh, we're so evolved. Like, we're not like that. No, we're not. I think human nature in large groups, we're just as bad. I mean,
mm,
I think the indoctrination now that they're doing is just a different kind of evil, but it's still evil.
I
Um,
agree. How long do you think before they remake this cartoon but with all white people in it, making fun of Mexican?
what is it that they call us on Twitter? They call us snow roaches.
Snow? I haven't heard that one. I've
You,
heard Snow Queen and Snowmen. I've heard that, but Snow Roaches. I haven't heard that one.
yeah, white people. They call us snow roaches. And oh gosh, there was a really funny one, corn something. I can't remember. It was something not like people of the corn, but something something like that.
A corn pop. He's a bad dude.
Okay. Uh, okay. Let's see. Okay, there's a white person.
I guess nobody's too home. Home, 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 home.
Roll up. Slow, ladies, slow down. Hold up, hold up. Hold up, hold up.
Is that a white guy or a dog?
It's a dog. It's a dog. Like I didn't want to.
What is it? It's a dog?
Dog man. Yeah, they sent
Dog
him
man.
instead.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am, sir. Is the lady of the house to home? I have here a fine assortment of assorted useful, useless utensils. They are all designed to take the work out of housework. Yeah. We are giving away absolutely free for
What?
25 cents each one a better beating, beat better egg beater.
Oh my goodness. Oh. What?
What's going on? That doesn't make any sense. This cartoon's unrealistic.
Is this a racist stereotype that I didn't know about black people, that you can like generate electricity from your ears?
I don't know. I thought they would have played on this saying, you know, not the brightest light bulb or something, but I don't see it there. So I don't know.
I've never heard this stereotype about black people, that you can put light bulbs in your ears. Sorry.
That's actually sounds pretty cool. That's a positive thing, right?
Sounds
Generating
kind of
electricity because you're so full of life. Gotta look on the bright side of things. But
dun dun dun. I guess there were probably lots of, you know, how social justice warriors are always trying to bring back to life all these racist terms that we no longer know of as racist, but
Mhm.
they try and infuse them with racism again, like they do these lists, these periodic lists and stuff, where they do the blogs where they say, oh, here's 30 phrases that you didn't realize were racist, and it's stuff like cakewalk, and you're like, really? Like, that's a cakewalk, and they say, oh yes, because way back when, here's the etymology of that phrase, and here's why it was racist. Okay, sometimes I don't even believe them. Other times I'm like, maybe maybe that's true, but nobody knows that meaning today or thinks of it as racist. So why are you trying to make it racist again? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and so maybe there are some racist stereotypes that we just forgot. Like, maybe this would be on a BuzzFeed list one day. Like, did you know that in 1938, one of the racist stereotypes about black people is that they can generate electricity?
Just imagine like some southern guy like, hey, light bulb is come here. Say come
Yeah,
like what?
like a forgotten stereotype, forgotten by years past.
I need some light. Shine that light on me.
Oh, should we watch more of this one?
I a little. I just want to see where it goes.
Okay.
So you can fast forward. You can fast forward a little bit.
Let's
You don't
see
have to
where
watch
it
the video.
goes, guys. I think it's
Yeah, I'm waiting for a big plot point come in and character development.
it might be going somewhere racist.
Hello, folksies.
To be fair, that is how my brother and sister and I demanded food at the table, like, when we were kids.
One of us. One of us.
Maybe
Two
we
of
saw it in a cartoon. So the queen is a white lady, right?
It looks like is it half chicken?
She's a
looks little
chicken?
I don't know. It looked like she had a little beak, but maybe it's just a weird looking old lady.
What's going on out there? We are having a salesman for dinner, please. A man?
Wait a minute. They crossed. That was an Asian stereotype. They just crossed. They don't even care anymore.
You're right. That wasn't even a stereotype of a black voice.
You know, stereotype, but I'm black. That's what it basically was.
It's like they just have a racist voiceover actor who got drunk that day and forgot he was supposed to be racist towards black people instead of Asian people.
Maybe they did this like cartoon twice, but one with like Asians, and they're like, "Oh, we got to have them record the lines for the Africans. Let's just dub in this line.
Maybe they paid less for the Asian stereotypes. like,
Wow.
like, like if you want me to do a black accent, it's going to cost you more.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
wonder what
weird.
rates were like back then for racist voice actors. Oh,
Wonder what?
what rates were like for racist voice actors?
I bet they got paid a lot. I mean, who
Yeah,
knows? That would be interesting to look up some of the people who did voice acting in this and see if they were well known in Hollywood outside of this.
yeah. We'll find that out.
Like, I bet you there's some surprising people in there. You're like, what? That from something else.
I got a waiting for you. Kind of cute, don't you think? Or don't you? What you doing here, young man?
Now, lady, I have here a marvelous device that you can't afford not to afford. Yeah, lady.
Okay, I just want to put this on the screen because this is interesting. Information in the chat says that the chicken lady who's white is making fun of the trope in some fiction, some jungle movies, of a white queen of an otherwise dark-skinned tribe. I had never heard of that trope.
It's marvelous. It's just too marvelous. Too marvelous for words. Oh, yes, indeed, ma'am. It's guaranteed. Yeah. To answer every household need.
What?
And it's wonderful.
Is that Rhett
I
Butler?
just can't find the words to say enough, tell enough.
That was Rhett Butler from
You-
Gone with the
That
Wind.
it's well enough. It don't cost much. No. It really shouldn't squeeze you. And you'll find that our payment plan
Who was
will
that?
please you.
I don't know.
And so I'm giving you a demonstration free. Yeah. To show you that it's marvelous. Too marvelous to
Clark
be.
Gable. So one of those was Clark Gable.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think this is what she's supposed to be seeing. Somebody says Wikipedia says she's wearing toast goggles.
We'll get married right away.
Does you all take this man to be your wedded husband, or don't you?
Oh, this is so sudden.
You take this woman to be your wedded wife, or don't you?
Yeah.
I now sentence you to be man and wife, kiss the bride. That'll be $2 for you.
I hope they all get indigestion. Hope.
He committed suicide. Like I can't take these black people no more. Committed suicide.
Forget about the racism. I think him burning himself alive rather than marrying that woman. Children, like that's. I don't know if you would see that in a cartoon today. Like, well, I choose death.
Keri, I remember from a kid when I was a kid, not too long ago. I saw an old Looney Tunes cartoon. It was basically a ripoff of like Tom and Jerry, where this mouse or a cat was chasing this mouse, and the mouse does something weird at the end. Like, I don't know if it wears a dress or something weird. And the cat goes, "Oh, now I've seen everything." And the cat pulls out a revolver, puts it to its head, blows its brains out. Its body flies back 20 feet, and then goes,
What?
holy crap. I just saw a cat murder itself.
This is what Itchy and Scratchy were based on.
Yeah.
I think they were actually based on some of these darker kind of
Yeah.
Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers stuff that we're not old enough to remember.
Yeah.
Although you saw that one clip of the cat blowing its brains
Yeah.
out. But KJ says the good old days. That's crazy. Okay. That's one of the Band 11 guys. Um,
What
you
do you
know,
think the moral of the story was?
there was no moral of that story. Did you see one? There's nothing there. It's just uh let's put some racist depictions of black people on screen and kids love that. And then we'll have this queen wanting to marry this salesman who chooses death instead of her.
All black people see chicken all the time. That's it.
Oh, I missed that because I'm not black. It went over my head.
That's funny.
Okay, this next one that you sent me, I had never heard of jungle jitters, so that was new to me. But this next one, this is from 1935, and this is based on the book. And I my I had these books as a kid. Well, I didn't have them, but they were at my grandma's house. My mother and my aunt had them, and uh, they were in the TV cabinet with a bunch of other old children's books from the 30s and 40s, and they're racist books. And this is a cartoon based on it. This is Little Black Sambo. Did you ever see these books when you were a kid?
No, I did it. That says
Yep.
something. Oh.
Yep. I grew up in South Carolina. Give you a little context. Okay. Have you watched this one yet?
Only a little bit. I didn't watch the whole thing.
So we've got the mammy stereotype again. Channel Julio says these cartoons actually played before the feature movie for mixed age audiences, not just for children.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat are asking why I'm not wearing a hat. Hello, Doc Savage. No hat Wednesday. Yeah, I don't always wear one. I mean, huh?
People are really bothered. Like, wear the hat, Keri.
I'm sorry. I thought my hair looked pretty good tonight. I was like, eh. Anyway.
Looks good.
Okay. Primarily for adults, says Moons of Madness. Do you think so, though? Because it's Looney Tunes. It's like Warner Brothers. I don't think these are primarily for adults. Do you?
I think it was like he was saying general audience because these did play before movies, and so depending on the movie, maybe. But
This is Information says something similar, Chris. Something to bear in mind: these 1930s and 40s cartoons were made for theaters, not TV, and for a general audience rather than specifically for kids, though treated as such later on for TV play. Yeah, because I guarantee you they played these on TV between 1938 and 1968 when they banned that jungle one. They probably played it on TV. Okay.
Now run along and play, honey child, but watch out for that bad old tiger. That old tiger sure do like dark meat.
So the dog's gonna try to scare him?
Yeah. Why would he do that?
I don't know. Chrissy Mare's boobs. What did I do to deserve this honor? They're still here, the boobs. They say this dog is an asshole.
It is. I'm like, jeez.
It
Racist dog. I'm surprised
is.
when the lady's washing the kid that the kid didn't come out white. Surprised they didn't do that.
Oh, like the powder. Like white face. This dog is an asshole. The dog belongs to the little boy.
Are they?
It's like, it's just me. Don't worry, I
Oh,
just scared you to
right.
death. I have to say, this one's not as bad as the first one.
Yeah. Fast forward.
Yeah, this one doesn't have like the big crazy lips or like it's just it looks to be it's like a cartoon about a little boy and a tiger. Okay.
So this one's safe for people. Animal stuff.
I mean, the mammy looks like a stereotype for sure.
It's not bad.
Okay. What do you think of that one?
That one wasn't as bad as the other one and the couple other ones I sent you. But gets my seal of approval.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if anything's going to top that first one in terms of being completely racist. Somebody says, "What is this? The 40s?" Actually, this one was 1935, and the previous one, the one that was like full of racial stereotypes, was 1938. And we've got a couple more racist cartoons here that Mystery Chris found. I will mention, I forgot to do this. Thank you, Cheeky Mare. You guys give it up for Cheeky Mare, who's moderating tonight. She says, if you are a member on the locals community, we're expanding the community there, and we're testing out how to do a private chat for members. So there's a private chat happening right now for this video. And if you're on locals, you can go over there and chat there instead if you prefer. I promise I'm going to learn more about locals. It's just, there's so many platforms. And Mystery Chris is barely on Twitter.
Yeah, I still don't understand how it works. I'm a caveman.
I see you get on there and tweet in spurts.
Yeah, when I feel inspired.
Yeah. Okay, what's this next one?
I forget. One of them is this the World War II one. I forget which order I put it in, but
this is the 1941 Scrub Me Mama with a Boogie Beat.
Okay, this one is gonna give that first one a running for racist.
For more racist?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow, this makes the Mammy in the Black Sambo cartoon look like a normal characterization. This one's like, look at those lips. Wow, 1941. Okay. Is that Old Man River?
Yeah.
Wow. Those are flies around this guy, and look, the boat is called Lazy.
Yes. The whole town is Lazy Town.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Chris. Look
better.
at his lips. No.
By better, I mean.
By better, you mean it gets more racist?
Yeah.
Okay. Even the fish are lazy. Chrissy Mare's boobs.
Wow.
Well, even the dog is lazy.
It's infectious.
He could barely say bow wow. Just a point from the chat. Information says the lazy guy fishing is a caricature of black movie comedian Stepin Fetchit. Chrissy Mare's boob says he is fishing, presumably to provide for his family. Even the worms were lazy. Chrissy Mare's boobs. Necessity's the mother of invention, and the father is a lazy man. That's my kind of fishing, says Cheeky Mare. And Doc Savage says this is where Joe Biden says he grew up. Wow. Okay.
Fight. Take that. You take that. I'll bust your head.
lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Light-skinned black lady. Yeah. She's all fine, and they're all gonna lust after her.
Wow. Chronic fatigue syndrome. I heard you laughing, Chris. Is it because it's so over the top
Yeah,
again?
it's like hard to believe. Like this is just normal.
Wow. Okay.
Listen, Mammy, there ain't no way to wash clothes. What you all need is rhythm.
What do you all mean, rhythm?
I'll show you what I mean. In Harlem, there's a little place where everyone goes to see the way a washerwoman washes her clothes. If you like boogie woogie rhythm, she's got
Oh
a
my
beat. Let the
gosh.
boogie woogie washerwoman give you a treat. On every afternoon, that's when the sessions begin, and all the boys from all the bands come down and sit in. They sit around and knock each other out when they play, while the boogie woogie washerwoman washes all day. Rub me up, dub. That's just the way she rubs. Rub me up, dub. That's just the way she scrubs. Rub me up, dub.
No.
She rubs them up her knuckles right on down to the nuts.
It's like every stereotype you could think of, just throw it in there. Wow, they packed a lot in this cartoon.
It is every stereotype. Are they going to have chicken eating after this? They get the watermelon eating, and it's stereotypes, racist stereotypes that survived that we know, even though we came after 1941. But there's none of the ones from that jungle one with the light bulbs. Like black people can turn on light bulbs with their ears. Like,
Oh, it's sorely missing. By the way, is the light-skinned black woman in here? Do you think that's Dorothy Dandridge? It sounds like her.
I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? I don't know enough about her. I'm making a note so I can look it up. Okay.
That's how she kicks it off. She keeps it nice and soft. Cause someone hollers on from me, mama, with the boogie beat. You really ought to visit there if you've never been. It doesn't cost a penny, just come down and walk in. If you like boogie woogie rhythm, you'll get a treat. That's a boogie woogie.
The shoe shine boy.
Rubbly up dog.
Rubbly up dog. She rubs the knuckles right on down to the nub, yeah.
What?
And she keeps it nice and soft.
Cause someone hollers on.
Scrub me mama with a boogie beat.
Rubbing all day. Scrubbing away. Scrub me, mama, beat me, mama, rub me, mama, scrub me, mama, mama. Rub the lip down. Oh, how she'll get you with her rub the lip down. She'll really play you with her rub the lip down. Hear them yelling, Nelly. Oh, fellas, come on down, there is a beat for you.
Why do you think they're making the light-skinned black woman look like an actual human, and all the other black people are really these racist caricatures, like super dark skin, buck teeth? Like they don't even have mouths; they have a red section here.
Well,
Like
I mean, the light skin's just more valued, even amongst black people. I mean, we tend to look at light-skinned people and give them, put them up on a pedestal. You'll always hear black people talk about how good hair, the mixed race, half black, half white kids have, and we tend to just look at them as having more status than darker skin. It's just this weird inherent, disdain or hatred almost for darker skins amongst a lot of us blacks, sadly.
someone looked up the person singing, Greg the baritone. I'm going to take you at your word. Greg the baritone says it's Ivy Anderson.
Okay.
KJ says, yeah, because she's 75% white. Like they're trying to This whole thing you're saying about how black people kind of put mixed people on a pedestal in previous generations, like,
Still,
and still, and that probably white people were probably doing that too.
yeah, yeah. Some of them sometimes, but yeah, it's easier for back then. It was easier to accept lighter skinned blacks into a larger white society than the darker skins for a lot of reasons.
Christy Mares Boobs points out her dress is see-through also. Yeah, so she's highly sexualized. You can see her whole bum there. Okay. Yeah, the racist stereotypes, like all of the other black characters, somebody pointed out they make these caricatures, they make them look like apes. Like it's this red ape face at the bottom.
And see, a sad thing too about is like all these things that they're making fun of us blacks with. You hear portraying us being lazy, being hypersexual. They're all chasing after this light skinned woman. Somewhat violent with the slapping and stuff. These are all things that are kind of worshipped in inner city black communities these days, where they're all things that were celebrated. Being a degenerate, being hyper violent, hypersexual. It's uh
That was the frustrated sigh at the end.
yes, it's sad. It's like, I mean, look how much freedom us blacks have, but how many blacks just are basically acting like this, confirming these racist stereotypes. It's sad because there's a lot of people like my parents' generation that grew up during segregation, and we're hoping for a better day that us blacks could have. And as things opened up and more freedom was granted to many of us blacks, yet some that took advantage of that, other ones that didn't, and just regressed and basically became like these stereotypes.
Tree Surgeon says it's almost like glorifying these things was purposeful.
Mm.
Also, Lettuce says the light skinned character says she's from Harlan, so they're also doing like a rural versus the city thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the boogie woogie washerwoman scrub you. Let the boogie woogie be.
What's the flower thing? Of course, they have a lot of black people playing musical instruments.
Always dancing. Black people always be dancing.
A couple of things from the chat. I had a question for you from Chrissy Mares Boobs. She says, Chris, what's your take on the Boondocks and how it portrays black people? Oh, I called her she. I think I misgendered the boobs. They, the boobs, want to know what do you think of the Boondocks?
I've actually never watched the Boondocks.
Oh, really?
I
love
know.
the Boondocks.
Yeah, I have to watch it so I can give an opinion about it. But yeah, I've never seen it.
We should watch it. I haven't watched it since I was woke, and I really liked it when I was woke. I'm not sure.
Really?
I wonder if I would still like it. There was an episode where they had a restaurant and they came up with a brilliant idea to put beds in the restaurant. So after you ate all the like fried chicken and waffles and cornbread and highly carbed and fried foods, that you could then take a nap.
Smart idea.
I know. I thought it was a pretty smart idea. And then Channel Julio, people in the chat, including Channel Julio, are pointing out that it was just a flour sacks, which were made into diapers and made into clothes, and that's true. Forgot about that. My great grandma made a lot of my grandmother and her siblings' clothes out of old flour sacks. Sackcloth dresses is what they called them. Okay. Yeah, people in the chat seem the itis. That's what it is. Thank you, Q Tech Cube. They called it the itis. That the when you would get really tired after eating a big meal. Absolutely right. Okay, let's finish this racist cartoon. I think spoiler alert, more racism coming. Wow.
All aboard!
So they're no longer lazy, right? All it took was a half black woman to come in town and walk around, strut.
I think is that the moral of the story?
That light skinned blacks need to corral darker skinned blacks and tell them what to do. That's how order will be created.
I think it was actually just that during that lunch hour, Lazy Town came alive because of the attractive light-skinned woman. And then they go back to being lazy. That's probably whoever wrote this cartoon, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, I was wondering if they're going to cut back and then just all go back to being lazy because I was like, what's the point?
Yeah, women are motivational, says Adam. And Night Train says, well, it did have good music, if nothing else.
I love that big band, 1940s, 30s.
Yeah, I love it too. It's great. Davina says, not sure if there's a redeeming message here. No, I agree. I don't think there is.
Trying hard to find one.
I think it's just a racist cartoon.
What are they like a message at the end that said racism is wrong? It's like
Surly Unicorn, what year was this? This was 1941. So we started off with Jungle Jitters. That was 1938. And it was not banned until 1968. Then we watched Little Black Sambo cartoon from 1935. And this is 1941. Yeah, Davina says it's infantilizing. It's a infantilizing depiction of black people as musical and athletic. Pretty racist. Yes, I agree.
I've been saying that about like movies, modern day black movies, because there's really three categories for us. It's basically biopics for like entertainers, so athletes and musicians. You have Tyler Perry type movies, like Medea, or some of those romantic comedy ones like Why Did I Get Married? And then you have movies about struggling against racism, slave movies or civil rights movies. And that's basically the main three categories that black movies consist of these days, fit into.
What do you think it was back then? I mean, it's clearly a lot of stuff like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, wasn't a lot of quote unquote black movies or black shows back then. Although maybe on a future episode we can talk about some 50s sitcoms, because there's a bunch of 50s sitcoms on YouTube, and I found one with Hattie McDaniel. I had no idea she had a career after Gone with the Wind, and she was like the star of it. She was still a mammy, but I just thought it was interesting. Well, I didn't know she had a show, a sitcom.
I didn't know she had a show either. We should watch that. Yeah, because I think it was mostly just, depictions in stories about white people, and very racist depictions at that, or stereotypes at the very least.
Yeah, Amos and Andy too. Yeah.
Or it was white actors doing blackface.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this next one?
This one is, I think this is Tokyo Jokyo.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think this is the World War II one. So this was a anti-Japanese cartoon, and I think it's the one with Bugs Bunny in it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. 1943. Tokyo Jokyo.
It sounds like it's such a lame joke.
Yeah.
Jokyo. Someone must have been like so proud when they came up with that.
Is this one of the band 11?
I'd have to check. I don't know. It must be. It is Warner's. I'd be surprised if it's not. And there were other ones that weren't banned that were outside of that.
Oh, is it not playing?
No, it's not playing.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. It's playing for me this whole time. A Looney Tunes cartoon. Are you laughing at the Asian music?
Attention, please. This film, now released for public showing, has been captured from the enemy. It is a typical example of vicious Japanese propaganda.
Japanese?
Cock-a-doodle-doo, please. We are now privileged to witnessing demonstration of Japan's finest air raid siren.
They got that racist voiceover actor from Jungle Jitters to come back and do the Asian accent.
And now please to observing a look at listening post. Over here, our honorable aircraft spotter. Now we are showing you fire prevention headquarters. Oh, Sanagan, too late. Incendiary bombs.
Somebody says that voice is Mel Blanc. Is it?
One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, losing face, please. Losing face.
Okay, I'm just going to read you something about this one. Some people in the chat are giving us some more info, and then here's some stuff from Wikipedia. So Tokyo Jokyo, that's the name. It was a Looney Tunes propaganda short from 1943. It is notorious and controversial for its racist depictions of Japanese people. The name of the cartoon is a pun on Tokyo. Yes. So let's see. It doesn't tell me here who's doing the voice. But in the chat, I wonder if somebody could confirm this. In the chat, people are saying that it's Mel Blanc who does information, saying, yeah, that's Mel Blanc who does the voice of Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, etc.
Uh-oh, he's going to get canceled.
Yeah, probably Mel Blanc. Okay.
Kitchen hints. To demonstrate how to constructing the delicious Japanese
I mean, look at the visual stereotypes. It's like the Jungle Jitters one.
Then eat them. Oh, yum, yum, sandwich.
And the one we just saw.
After eating, you were enjoying a crab. Presenting Nippon News Styles of the Week.
What? Why are you laughing?
It's silly. It's silly, Keri.
It's so over the top.
Japanese victory suit. No cuffs. no treats, no repels, no soup. These are Red Togason bringing you
Wow,
highlights
look at the
in the
ears.
world of sport.
It's kind of like a black.
Here we are seeing Japanese King of SWAT.
The fly
Headline
one.
personalities.
I should have looked up
Yamamoto will
what the
dictate
Japanese cartoons they had in World War II. I wonder if they did. They had to have done like similar things, but with white people.
They had to have. So this is interesting because it's racist, but it's also, as you pointed out, it's propaganda during the war. It's a bit like who do you think they showed this to? Soldiers? Is it a bit like
I,
sort of making
oh,
fun
yeah,
of the
they
enemy?
just hated Japan.
I bet. I wonder if anybody knows, let us know in the chat. I wonder if they had similar stuff about American soldiers, right? About dumb Amis, which is what I heard, but that's what we're called in Germany. Dumb Amis. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you told me.
Amis for Americans.
Do you think there's any modern cartoons that are doing this, but with Russia? Because they can't do it with like the Middle East. Even if America's demonizing something, they just can't do that. But Russia, since they're white, they're allowed to do
That's
that.
a good question. See, this is what I mean about how humans always like to think we're more evolved than previous generations, but we're not. I've seen human nature. I see it every day on Twitter. I see people repeating the same mistakes, but they think, oh, it's okay because it's about this country or this race or this sex or this group and whatever's in vogue and fashionable at the discriminating against vaccinated people. That's cool. That's fine. Tell them they can't work. They can't get a job. There's always something new in human nature. Just I don't know if we change all that much. And so yeah, there's probably people making cartoons about Russians. I don't know. I don't know if it would rely as much on stereotypes though, because I think actually we've probably forgotten a lot of. I think our generation, we don't know a lot of stereotypes about other countries the way that older people did. Am I off base there?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it hasn't really been in the news in a long time, and so I don't think a lot of younger generations really know much about Russia, and definitely don't know much about the Soviet Union.
Yeah, if you ask young people, what's a Russian stereotype? I don't even think they would think of vodka.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would even know that.
I think of Yakov Smirnov every day.
times in the White House.
General Hama demonstrates coolness and calmness of a Japanese officer during air raid. Flashes from the Axis. Berlin. Flash, the Fuhrer has just received a postcard from a friend vacationing abroad.
I'm going to skip ahead. Oh my goodness, wait.
Rome.
What was that? They were making fun of they were making fun of Hitler there. I don't really understand that part, do you?
Let's see, one more time. Play again.
I probably I skipped ahead, that's why.
From a friend vacationing abroad.
I don't know who Rudolf Hess is.
It's one of the officers he parachuted in
Rome.
Europe and got capture.
The Rome Chamber of Commerce takes us for a visit through its
Oh,
celebrated
Rudolph
ruins.
Hess defected to Scotland by plane.
For Japanese Navy or at sea.
Thank you guys. Thank you for schooling me.
Believe it or don't, this submarine launched 3 weeks ahead of schedule.
Greg the Baritone says that Lord Hee Haw was an actual radio propagandist.
Oh. I always wondered what it was like to be a
Inside
US
submarine,
soldier
Vera
fighting in
sailors
World
would
War II.
To be what?
Like I imagine what it was like being a U.S. soldier in World War II and like coming home and seeing how family, if you have like wife or kids, whatever, whose ideas of Japanese soldiers were coming from these cartoons, from the World War II movies that were romanticized, but just like knowing, actually seeing warfare, if you were that soldier, seeing just how brutal and horrible it is. It would just be weird, like sitting next to family members who are like laughing and have a good time, and you're like, this is not what it's like at all. It's horrific. You have no idea what it's like.
Just that culture shock of coming home.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
People are saying this isn't as funny. I'm gonna skip out of this one. I mean, it's certainly racist.
Kind of same joke over and over again.
Yeah. The propaganda one.
That was okay. Keri approved.
Okay, so you've also sent me a clip of some racist advertisements.
Oh yeah, this was just skip around on this, but these were just commercials. Some of them aren't that racist really, but just skip around a little bit. Don't.
It starts with Dave Chappelle though, right?
I think. Can't remember.
Okay, I'm going to skip past him because I think he's just doing. Here we go.
Yeah, it's just a stand-up. I guess.
Some chicken.
Is this a chicken
got
ad?
time to make dinner when you're busy making history?
What?
Kentucky Fried Chicken tastes great, and it's so convenient. You can pick it up whenever you want it. Cleopatra didn't stop to fix dinner. Why should you?
That's a big buildup for a chicken ad. I was like, is this a movie?
I want to see that movie. They just eat chicken the whole movie.
This
Who
is
make
hilarious.
history? We'll make dinner. Colonel Sanders already made history by fixing Sunday dinners 7 days a week.
This one isn't racist.
Yeah, a lot of them are just a theme. This one doesn't have black people in it, but some of the other ones are just black people and chicken in general.
And I couldn't find my daughter wrong.
You make history, let Colonel Sanders make dinner.
I thought you were going to surprise your mom and cook dinner.
Oh, I was, Papa. But it turned out to be a bad day for cooking.
Oh?
Well, first I put the salt in the pepper shaker. Then I dialed the wrong number. Twice.
Folks like my Kentucky Fried Chicken so much is they think up excuses not to cook. My secret recipe makes it so finger-licking good that it's hard to think of cooking or eating anything else.
And I couldn't find my diary either.
Well, for chicken's sake, I hope you never do.
Come on over and visit the Colonel.
I mean, I don't think that's racist either. Just showing a black family.
They're just black people and stuff. They wouldn't do it today. Although they kind of shied away in like McDonald's, because you remember they'd always do some McDonald's commercials where you have like a hip hop beat, like ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
McDonald's.
Didn't you tell me once that if you're at like a big event with people you don't know, a lot of white people, and there's lots of things to choose from to eat, like at a banquet, that you don't want to eat the chicken.
Yeah, because no, I was it was an old job of mine. Went into the break room and they had some pizza and then they had a box of chicken, and my eyes went straight for that box of chicken. It was all white people around. I was like, oh, I don't want them seeing the black girl straight for that box of chicken. That was a lie. I don't want that pizza. I want that delicious chicken. And
Did you
so
eat?
I grabbed a bunch of pizza and then I calmly went over to the box of chicken, like, oh, well, it's only a couple pieces. I guess I'll have one, you
Oh,
know.
if you insist. That's so funny. I think you should just eat the chicken.
No,
Oh
I
my,
can't. I have to fight against stereotypes.
oh my goodness. Okay.
Anyway, the rest of this is just like similar stuff. So,
Okay, I'm going to
but
stop sharing this one. The one that you sent me that's very interesting, and somebody in the chat mentioned this, forgive me, I forget who, but Whoopi Goldberg did a little intro to some Warner Brothers, was it Warner Brothers cartoons, explaining her thoughts on some of the old cartoons, like the old racist depictions. Should we play that?
this one, and this was in 2014. I'm not quite sure if Whoopi still agrees with. I would think so. She kind of seems like she's still somewhat pro freedom of speech, at least in comment. Somewhat. I don't know. I don't really watch The View, so.
Let's see.
Hey, I'm Whoopi Goldberg, and welcome to the Tom and Jerry Spotlight Collection. I've been a fan of Tom and Jerry since I was a little kid, because they're the quintessential cartoon comedy team in that slapstick tradition of great silent comics.
Okay. Yes, somebody in the chat just pointed out it was actually MGM Tom and Jerry cartoons. Okay.
The Oscar-nominated short Puss Gets the Boot first set the stage for their ongoing literal cat and mouse game that usually ended with that clever mouse Jerry getting the best of poor old Tom Cat. Now, the Tom and Jerry episodes included in this collection and the outrageous brand of humor shown here comes to us from a time when racial and ethnic differences were caricatured in the name of entertainment. Now, while humor may have been the intent of such caricatures, they also had the effect of revealing society's unfair and hurtful representations of people of color, women, and ethnic groups. Now, some of the cartoons here reflect prejudices that were common in American society, especially when it came to racial and ethnic groups. Now, these prejudices were wrong then, and they are certainly wrong today. With Puss Gets the Boot, we're introduced to one of those caricatures, Mammy Two Shoes. Now, Mammy Two Shoes had a key reoccurring role in a number of Tom and Jerry shorts and was an important component that made the interplay in those cartoons work so well. Her performance was voiced by Black actress Lillian Randolph, who had played a variety of roles on television, radio, and films like It's a Wonderful Life. Now, Mammy is significant to the template of Tom and Jerry because she brings the human touch to the cartoon world, an entry point for the viewer. The fact that she is so definite a character, even though we really never see her face, is due to the acting and posing that Joe Barbera excelled at, the skills of the animators, and the excellent voice talent of Lillian Randolph.
Well, come on, Tom. It's time you were put out for the night.
Removing Mammy Two Shoes from this collection would be the same as pretending that she never existed. The same is true for the other images and jokes that we wouldn't normally include in a mainstream cartoon today. So, Ms. Two Shoes, along with other elements that reveal the prejudices of the time, are presented here to accurately reflect a part of our history that cannot and should not be ignored. With this release, Warner Brothers presents the original Tom and Jerry cartoons and the original Mammy Two Shoes, all as created by Hanna-Barbera. These cartoons are some of the best.
I think it's great that she did this. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really well said. Now, again, I don't know how much you agree with this now. I mean, deep down, I think she would, because I think most comedians do. But with all the pressure on comedy, the censor, and all that stuff, I don't know. So I don't know if people in chat, if y'all still watch, anyone still watches View or not. Like, tell me, is she defender of, freedom of speech, or is she caved in like
Well,
so many
as
other?
you said, this is 2014, and this is right before social justice went big mainstream, which I would say started happening in 2016, a couple years after this. So I don't know. She may be on the side of like take down statues, like as Therese points out in the chat. Yeah, but be sure and take down statues, right? She might be on that side of like on that side of it now, like hide things. Yeah, like Surly Unicorn says, like removing the Land O'Lakes girl, but keeping the land. I still
Right.
can't get over that. I was at it's not just creepy on the butter, okay, in the grocery store, but it's also creepy on I was having breakfast the other day and they gave us like little things for a creamer for the coffee, and it was a Land O'Lakes creamer, and it's missing the girl. It's just so weird. Why would you do that? Ugh.
So much representation.
Somebody else also pointed out, just so you know, Night Train pointed out that Whoopi also did a Looney Tunes intro like this. That's
That's
really
good.
interesting. Let's see what else. Information says I heard a long time ago that Whoopi had a huge collection of black stereotype stuff. I'm assuming dolls, signs, advertisements, etc.
Probably.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that you have a couple of things that I've seen. You collect not just black stereotype stuff, but just stuff throughout history, propaganda, and other kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Like she was saying, it's stuff. It's history. So
Mhm.
even if it's something that's kind of repugnant, it's still history, and it still has some value because of what it reflected at that time.
It's sort of funny. I told you this offline, but I go to a lot of these antique and junk shops, and there's all this sort of forgotten, like the kind of stuff that he's saying that Whoopi collects. There's all this like racist, like mammy stuff that by today's standards would be like no way, and also Asian. They have like like salt and pepper shakers of with Asian depictions, like stereotypes, and um a lot of that stuff sits in the antique shops and nobody wants to buy it anymore. And I was thinking of a comedy sketch, like, wouldn't it be funny if your house was like your house was totally normal, but then like you had guests over and everything, so like, "Oh, hi, yeah, and this is the living room, whatever." And then you go into the kitchen and it's just full of this racist stuff. I mean, but the person whose house it is that's acting like it's totally normal, like, "What? Like, this is"
Well, I don't know if I ever told you this, but when I was in college, I worked at a frame shop, and um, this guy would come in and frame stuff, and turns out every single time he came in to frame stuff, it was always KKK memorabilia. Every single time he called himself an historian, but it was just nothing but KKK stuff. And one of the things I saw was apparently there's a women's division of the KKK, separate but equal, right? And so they have certificates. I guess they have to go through some kind of training, some racist training, hate training of some sort, and they get certificates. And he's framing this stuff. So
Wow. Well, there you go. There's somebody collecting everything. That movie, what was that movie, Karen? I didn't watch it. I just watched the trailer. Did you watch it?
no, I didn't watch it, and I haven't seen too many people talk about it since it's come out. Came
We
out a
should
while ago.
watch it. We should definitely watch it. I remember in the trailer there was a scene like that, but it wasn't as funny as what I'm thinking of is like a kitchen, like the rest of the house is normal, and then you go in the kitchen and it's just like full of like just the racist 1950s kitsch stuff, and the rest of the house is not like that. That to me it screams like comedy sketch. It's actually like, do you know that Key and Peele sketch where I'm forgetting which one. Peele goes to Key's house, like they just met or something, and he turns out he's from the South and he sings country. Do you remember this sketch?
I don't remember that one.
Oh my gosh. And he starts singing. So it's two black guys. And one of them's like picks up his guitar. He's like, "Hey, let me play you a few things." And Jordan Peele's like, "Okay." And so he starts playing this song and the lyrics are like super racist. and and Peele's like, that's a very racist song. He's like, "What? No. No, what are you talking about? You just hear the country twang and you think it's racist, but it's not. Here, let me sing you another one. And then it gets worse, like each song. Like the lyrics are more racist. It makes me think of that kind of humor. But anyway, the point is, in the movie Karen, I know in the trailer they had something similar, though not as funny, where a character went in her bathroom or something and then saw that she had the rebel flag, like Confederate flag dish soap or something like that. like something random where they're like, oh, look at the dish soap. Anyway, we should do that movie. Okay, I'm gonna take this down. What else did you send me that you want to talk about?
Let's get into poo stuff.
Okay. This one's going to be interesting. Because
So,
this is kind of what they call racist today, right?
yes. So what's going on right now is, along with this idea that blacks and Hispanics and Asians need to be represented more, and live action stuff, they're saying that they need to be represented more in animation, and that minority characters need to be voiced by minority voice actors. And so the issue with Apu, which only became an issue after a documentary came out called The Problem with Apu, in which this comedian of East Indian descent argued that Apu was hurtful to East Indians, and that it was promoting stereotypes. And not only that, but they're upset that it was voiced by a white guy, so they thought he's making fun of them and stuff. And so Simpsons ended up caving in to that demand, removed Apu from the show. The actor who voiced him, Hank Azaria, apologized. There's actually an article or paragraph in this article in which a quick blurb where it talks about him, how he kind of graveled. And it's crazy to me, particularly since this controversy, I'll put that in quotes, came about almost 30 years after Simpsons debuted. Like, you would think if there was going to be a controversy, it would have been at the beginning, but no, it's only after all this time that suddenly became a thing because of a documentary, which, prior to that, I don't know how many people actually had a problem with Apu.
It was, so here's an admission. That documentary, The Problem with Apu, was made by Hari Kondabolu, who's a comedian who I know, who I used to work with. He was a writer and performer on our show, the show I executive produced, called Totally Biased with W. Kamau Bell. And before The Problem with Apu was a documentary, it started on our show, on our late night show on FX. It started as a bit that Hari wrote for the show and had done in his stand-up a little, and then we had a whole segment on it, and that became like his calling card. And I remember right around the time I started leaving social justice and being like not really sure what I should do career-wise, because I had built my career working with social justice comedians who put this stuff in their work. And to be clear, I didn't manage Hari, but he was on a show that I produced. Around that time, there was a comedian I was repping. We had another social justice comedy show. We had at a network that they greenlit a pilot, so we got money to make the pilot. Then they see if they wanted to go to series, right? And I know we were up against Hari Kondabolu and his social justice thing about Apu, and it was just like we were up against like 4 or 5 other comedians with social justice projects. It was like this was the heyday of it really becoming popular at the networks, and this thing that people wanted to buy. I think it just happened at the right time when social justice was ascending as a belief system, like the new cool thing in entertainment, and he got all that attention for the documentary, and then boom, goodbye Apu.
It's just so sad. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all. You just get an online mob of people to make a lot of noise about it. Chicky Mayer says, was it your idea? No, it was Hari's idea. It came from his stand-up. Okay, let's read this article. The headline is, What South Asian Americans Lost When We Canceled Apu. A comedian's special and my experience as a Simpsons fan point to the good, the bad, and the complicated when it comes to representation. And this is by Ali M. Latifi. Do you want me to read it or do you want to read this?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and read.
Okay. Bring Back a Pooh. Bring Back a Pooh is a new comedy special from Akash Singh, the 38-year-old Indian American comedian who wants The Simpsons to revive the Springfield Quickie Mart owner. For nearly 3 decades, Apu was voiced by the white comedian Hank Azaria until a backlash forced Azaria to give up the role. In the 2017 documentary The Problem with Apu, South Asian American comedians Kal Penn, Aziz Ansari, Asif Mandvi, and Hassan Minaj famously spoke of the ways that Apu's character was weaponized to bully them when they were children. So why does Singh want to bring back a character that has caused so much harm? Singh says that the cancellation of Apu was, quote, an overcorrection. He is tired of flat, trite, and one-dimensional South Asian characters in media and entertainment, and so am I. When I watched The Simpsons growing up as an Afghan immigrant, still learning about American culture, Apu always struck me as funny, but not vicious. He was also one of the few characters to have a real arc. Over the years, I saw him become more than just the one-note Quickie Mart owner. He was an entrepreneur, a father to octuplets, and even had a doctorate. Also, Azaria's voice, though put on, invoked true empathy during emotional storylines, like when Apu loses his store and faces deportation. Apu's words may have been coming out of the mouth of a white man, but his story said something about the human condition that Springfield's more clownish characters could not. So I found myself wondering if Apu was the right target. Should we be ashamed of Apu himself? As Singh points out in his debut stand-up special, much of the criticism around Apu relies largely on how white people have accepted or interpreted Apu. Take the anger around Apu's accent. What is driving it? Is it actually about the white man behind it, or is it the result of some internalized shame about an inflection that all too often has been used as a punchline? Is it because you think the accent is ugly? Singh asked in a telephone interview before the special's Friday premiere. I don't think it's ugly. My parents have one, meaning that accent. My parents have that accent. I'm not embarrassed by it. The ones who think it's offensive, they probably are. Or maybe it's his occupation. Apu's small business may be seen as the embodiment of a 1990s cliche about Indian men owning convenience stores, but with 80,000 Indians owning such establishments in the US, these stores have actually financially empowered generations of Indian families. His victory as a self-made entrepreneur is something to celebrate, not feel pigeonholed by. It also makes him an even better representation of Indians in the US specifically. After all, from Alphabet's Sundar Pichai to Microsoft's Satya Nadella to Idra Nuri, who stepped down as CEO of Pepsi in 2017, some of the biggest companies in this country have been headed by Indians. Apu is also more than his business acumen. One of the character's most endearing qualities is how principled and loving he is. Before his marriage to Manjula, Marge makes a point of stating that Apu is Springfield's most eligible bachelor. During the 1997 episode, we see this in action in a date auction. None of the other single men muster even a single bid, but a date with Apu fetches nearly $1,000 collected from several single ladies. In other words, he is living it up as a bachelor when his mother arrives with news that his arranged marriage is happening. After deliberation, Apu chooses to honor his commitment and comes out happier for it. Anyway, this is a great article.
Yeah. And then it goes on. There's only one other paragraph. The after stepping down, a couple paragraphs down.
Okay.
I thought that was good. Cool paragraph there.
After stepping down from the role of Apu in 2020, Azaria said in an interview that he felt as if he needed to, quote, go around to every single Indian person in this country and personally apologize. Ugh.
I know. I'm like, no.
Ugh. But Azaria's apology and willingness to put an end to one of the few South Asian characters on TV did little to solve anything. It just took away a character who could have been used to explore not just the Indian or immigrant experiences, but life as a businessman and father. Erasing Apu won't fix the problems with him, making him an even more rounded and full character would.
Yeah, and so the thing is, growing up watching Simpsons and seeing Apu, I never thought that they were making fun of East Indians. I mean, yeah, there were funny things the character did or said, but I never thought it was mean spirit at all. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of quote unquote representation for East Indians on television at the time, and so yeah, maybe some people maybe thought that certain aspects of Apu were to be found in more East Indians than it actually was or not. But still, it was all about poking fun but not being malicious. And I think The Simpsons did that with a lot of characters. I mean, they did it with white characters. I mean, Groundskeeper Willie and
Groundskeeper Willie, hello.
yeah. And so they did it a lot with these kind of stereotypes and stuff, but it was never, in my opinion, never mean spirited. It was always just fun, and that's what I always loved about the '90s. Like we've talked about with In Living Color. In my opinion, Living Color was never mean spirited, but it was about poking fun, and yeah, it did rely on some stereotypes here and there. But to me, that was a lot more quote unquote equal society than is now. Back when you could make fun of people, of different races and genders, sexual orientations, whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't. I agree with you. It wasn't mean spirited. I never got that feeling about whether we're talking about Groundskeeper Willie, which is a much more negative portrayal of, or Apu. It never was like, let's be dick because of this person's like ethnicity, or that wasn't it. Somebody had a funny None of Your Business had a funny comment about when they were talking about Apu being the most eligible bachelor in the auction in that episode of he says, to be fair, his competition in the auction were Mo and Barney. Yeah, look at those depictions of white people. Chrissy Mare's Boob says it brings up the issue of when is voicing different ethnicities problematic. Phil Lamar, black, voiced Samurai Jack, yet received no blowback. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there are black actors that voiced white characters.
And nobody cares, right?
Sure, they're still eligible for that, but can't be in the other one.
That's interesting. Surly Unicorn says, yes, Samurai Jack was a solid cartoon. It also had Mako as Aku. And look at this from Bright Space Babe. I'm a Christian and I love the Christian stereotypes on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ned Flanders. Come on, guys. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to show you. So since that article was at the beginning, it's by someone who in defense of Apu wants to bring back Apu, and they quoted a comedian who also wants to bring back Apu. And so we're just going to show the very beginning of this comic. Now, I had not heard of this comedian. Now I want to check out more of his stuff. Let's see. Can you see him there on screen?
There we go.
Okay.
What was racist about Apu? Here is a brown man married to a beautiful brown woman, owns his own business, selling overpriced products to unwitting white people. Apu is not racist. He's the American dream.
I listen to Lambert, then I mix it with that Kodak. These goofies out here trying on my mama, they ain't stopping shit. I am number one and fuck whoever don't acknowledge it.
Hey, why are you apologizing for laughing, bro? Look what we done to white men. Cut that shit out, bro. You're allowed to be happy. White men are like shelter dogs now. He's apologizing for laughing at a comedy show. Isn't that fucking unbelievable? It's like watching Reek in Game of Thrones. They went through the whole arc. These guys used to run shit. Big dick swinging everywhere. Well, moderate-sized dick swinging everywhere.
That's great. Okay. I want to see that whole special now.
Yeah. Because I had no idea about this till I found this article and read about him. I was like, wow, that's nice.
Doc Savage has seen it. He says, I saw that special. Akash, it was on point and funny as F. Thank you. Thank you for that recommendation. Well, anything else to round out the night? I've seen about probably enough racist cartoons for the whole year.
Which
Which was my favorite?
Yeah. Say it.
I think the one with the music, because I did like the music, but that's one of the most racist of all four
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
What was that one called? The something about the beat, the boogie beat.
Yeah.
Why? What's your favorite?
I like the first one with the Africans on the carousel.
Yeah, but the
Those
boogie
are
beat one had every stereo that checked every
true.
box, including the
True.
watermelon scene.
Hot picking, yep.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna do a whole episode, you guys, on I told Mr. Chris I want to do one on sexist advertisements and stuff. Back when I was a social justice warrior, women's studies minor in college, I did a whole presentation or something. Anyway, I had to go to the library and look up all these old sexist ads, and there's lots of funny ones. I think it's like you. It's like I like to look at this stuff and laugh at it. I think it's
Yeah.
it's good to mock evil.
Exactly. It's so over the top. It's like, how can you not laugh?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Should we wrap it up for the night?
Wrap it up. I hope everyone has some new hate in their heart. It'll keep you warm at night if you're in a cold area. So.
New hate in your heart. Just a reminder, guys, I did forget to do this at the beginning. If you want to do book club with us for reading Political Ponerology, we're going to be discussing it later this month. I believe we're doing this on October 23rd, which is a Sunday. We'll confirm that below in the comments. We also have a locals and a Patreon and a subscribe star if you want to support us. And we just turned on YouTube memberships. Woohoo! So if you want to do that, and what else is coming up? Oh, this Friday, Kerfuffy break is going to be, instead of usual time for our live show on Fridays is noon Central, was actually this Friday, we're going to do 1:30. We're going to push it back. I'll post an announcement. And I'm going to have Will Johnson from the Patriot Prayer Rally. I know some of you guys know who he is. He lives in Texas now. And come to find out, he's been going out to the Georgetown Town Square, which I've talked about before, where all these crazy BLM people are every weekend. And I'm in a couple of private groups for Georgetown, Texas, where these white social justice people are posting pictures of him and just attacking him and calling him all kinds of racist things. And he and I started talking because I saw what they were saying about him in this group. And that's going to be I'm excited, very interesting conversation with him about what it's like to go into these woke spaces and have white people hurl racist insults at him. Anyway, that's Friday. I think that's it. Do you have anything?
No, this has been a fun show.
It has been. I'm good. It was good to see you again.
You as well.
To see your avatar. Okay, here we go. That's the wrong one.
People are confused, like, what?
That's the wrong one. Sorry. Okay, let's try this again. And I forgot there's 5 seconds of black at the beginning of this one. Here we go.